Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of Johnny Gosch, who disappeared in September of 1982 in Des Moines, Iowa. He was still 12 years old. He was going to turn 13 in November, and he had a paper route, and he would always deliver those papers, or at least I guess have his assistance from his dad. But that day he didn't knock on his dad's door and went out on his own with his red cards and his dog, the family dog. He picked up some of the newspapers and initially set out on his route with another paper boy when they were approached by a blue car with a man inside asking for directions. And the other paper boy, after that confrontation with this man in the car, decided that that was really unnerving and they decided to go home. But Johnny continued on his route. And once he had disappeared around the corner, I believe the same boy also heard the dog growling, the dog that they had on them, and then a car door slamming and a car screeching off, and later running a red light nearby. Because it turns out that Johnny was probably being followed by a second man who was on foot, who then confronted him around the corner. And since then, Johnny has not been seen, except for one instance, but we'll get to that in a moment. At least one claimed instance. In between that instance and the moment that he was abducted, there was a woman who claimed that she had been approached by him in a grocery store a few months later. And sometime after that, some other clerk had been handed a bill with the name Johnny Gosch written under it, and underneath that written, "I am alive." And the other instance that I was just about to talk about was in 1996, when his mother claimed that Johnny had come home for about an hour, and how he had talked how he was part of some illegal ring, a certain child pedo ring, if you know what I mean. I can't really say the word on YouTube without getting flagged, but you know what I mean. That was apparently frequented by politicians and officials, and he was on the run, and she wasn't supposed to tell anybody that he had been there because that would give away his location, etc., stuff like that. So since then, we haven't heard too much about him. We don't even know for sure if the sightings by the person in the grocery store or his own mother were legit or not. Grief can do all sorts of strange things, but we have here the tarot. We're going to take a look at this case with the tarot cards to see what we can find. We're starting off with the Deviant Moon tarot, which is this one. And for any further questions, moving on to the Tarot of the Magical Forest, which is this one, in case you wanted to get one of your own. As per usual, I'm just going to start shuffling the cards, and if I have enough cards on the table, I'll stop and then we can take a look at what we got. So without much further ado, let's just get started. Okay, let's see what we've got. We're starting off with the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles is in reverse, and let me just grab these two real quick. Also, the Page of Cups is also in reverse, but we'll get to that in a moment. Anyway, first of all, we have here the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. Now, Three of Pentacles usually like a cooperation between people. As you can see, they're all working on each other in some way, some form or another. And the Five of Pentacles normally like a bit of a bankruptcy card or feeling like you are running out of resources, etc. And also maybe ignored while still being seen. Because if you look at the card of the Five of Pentacles, you can see that there is a person skulking around the quiet streets at night. Only the issue with this one is that she's not quite ignored, because you can see that there's an eye in that doorway over there. Like the people who have are looking at them, and I'm definitely drawn to look at that because it's like this secret club almost. If you can see that, let me just hold it up right so you can see it a little better. So you see here that there is a door there with an eyeball behind the door, like there's like this latch that they open up and then they look outside to see what's going on. But inside there's wealth, because you can see that stained glass window. This is a wealthy house compared to the rest of the houses in the background. It's almost like this person wandering out in the streets is kind of lost, and the person behind the door sees something in that, or at least is looking at them. And then we have here the Three of Pentacles as well, which, and like I said, is like a working together, like a cooperation type of thing. So this almost seems like some people cooperating, working together to try and get somebody behind their door. Or at least they have plans for people outside of their door. We do have here the Page of Cups in reverse and the Tower in reverse. Now, normally Page of Cups is like a surprise, and in reverse it could be a very negative surprise, but since the Tower is also in reverse, meaning like there wasn't a great upheaval, this is kind of reminding me of another part of the story of Johnny Gosch that I didn't quite mention, but apparently, as I grabbed these two cards, he had gone to I think a football match or something, or a baseball match of his brother's, and later was found under the bleachers talking to this cop, and afterwards saying, I want to be a cop. Like he had talked to this cop person, or at least somebody pretending to be a cop under the bleachers, and this person apparently imparted on them that they wanted to be a cop or something. Like this is almost like a planned change. Like the surprise was not as unexpected, and the Tower was neither unexpected, or at least something was being held off. So it kind of looks to me like somebody had plans for him, and they worked together, came up to make this happen, this Tower reverse over here. And he kind of knew about it already because of the Page of Cups is in reverse. So maybe they contacted him beforehand. They spotted him first of all, contacted him, and then said, hey, if you work together with us, we can achieve all this great stuff together, that type of thing. So this almost looks like there was a part of that was already known beforehand. Which also reminds me, I heard that the parents, at least during August of that year, 1982, had gotten a few phone calls in the middle of the night. And at least around 1:30 in the morning, they had gotten a few phone calls, and they thought that that was just a wrong number, but they didn't really know who it was. It just seems a little bit strange. Like this, the phone call seems like the part of the card here with the eye is still just kind of looking at him, but they haven't made contact yet. And then the part about him going under the bleachers to talk to this cop guy, it just seems a little off. Like it was definitely arranged or planned beforehand, and whether Johnny knew exactly what was going to happen or not, I don't know. But this little lineup over here at least looks as though he knew something. He knew that he was going to be in contact with these people, and they may have told him all sorts of things that he didn't know about beforehand. Maybe they told him complete lies to try and get him on board. That's what this kind of looks like. So then we move on, because now we've got, this is the kidnap situation over here, we got that covered, but we have the Page of Pentacles over here. This is the new opportunity that we're talking about. And then there's the Hierophant and Justice in reverse. Okay, so this is up to the kidnapping over here. Page of Pentacles is, hey, this could be a good opportunity for me. So probably he thought that there was going to be something else happening that ended up not happening, because we see the Hierophant in reverse as well, next to Justice in reverse. So this seems to be, I think there's an opportunity in here for me, and then there's this person over here who is claiming that they are some type of authority, and they have a person in their pocket over there, which could very well be a reference to both Johnny and other kids maybe that were in a similar situation, or the people that were in a similar situation, because we have here the justice in reverse. So this is somebody offering them an opportunity, like I said, and they were pretending to be some type of official. Well, a cop would be some type of official that a child of age 12, almost 13, would definitely admire, or at least believe that they were telling the truth. And then it turns out that justice was not served, and actually whatever they were told were complete lies. In any case, they did not feel that what happened to him was just. So there's that. That definitely seems to support the kidnap into that ring story. Okay, then we have the world over here and the Six of Wands in reverse. All right, so the world is trying to find him by the looks of things. They're definitely looking around. And we see here with the Six of Wands, which is normally like a conquering card, somebody being celebrated. It's in reverse, and I find it kind of odd. Well, I don't want to like say things that are a little bit too risque for YouTube, but we are followed here by a King of Wands, which is surrounded by children. So this is definitely a very clear story. It almost looks as though like the world is looking, or maybe even looking the other way, and the person whom thought that they were going to be celebrated, that they were going to be getting some great opportunity, is now confronted with this King of Wands over here, who is surrounded by small ones and who appears to be in control. Now the wands are often action cards, fire related, but they can also be references to certain phallic objects. So this King of Wands might very well have been in control of certain aspects of his life and surrounded by children. So I'll let you do the math without actually having to spell it out, because YouTube will definitely flag the video if I do that, but you know what I mean. So there's some illicit material possibly being alluded to here. We are continuing with the Five of Cups and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. All right. Five of Cups crying over spilt milk, also being yelled at apparently by this person in the background, possibly somebody trying to keep him in line, because if you have a bunch of kids there and you're doing things to them that they don't like, it's likely that you have to try to convince them that that is indeed how it should be, or it's their fault, or they agreed to this, or something along those lines. Like the person in the background is really lording over the person in the foreground, and it does appear to be an older woman and a younger male. So perhaps somebody who was older than him was telling him off, basically him and possibly other kids as well. We see the Six of Pentacles in reverse, which is kind of the opposite of charity. So maybe this telling off was also paired with we're doing you a favor, and if we weren't here things would be much worse for you, that type of thing. So trying to keep them in line by basically claiming that they are saving them from worse fates or something along those lines, or that they are themselves to blame for this. So this seems very much gaslighting and keeping people in check. Then we have the Three of Swords in reverse and the Lovers in reverse. Okay, so Three of Swords, often three is a crowd, and it looks like with the Lovers in reverse as well, this is more of a forced crowd. Yeah, so this is not a great combination, particularly to follow up with these others over here. Like over here we have the gaslighting, like, oh, you're just gonna stay here because we tell you that this is the best place to be and it's your own fault, you chose this, blah blah blah. And we do see here certain other connections being made, shall we say. Three of Swords, often something that people, there's a three is a crowd type of thing, and it's also, if you see the person in the image there, they appear to be holding up their hand in like a defensive gesture, like they don't want whatever is being thrown at them, they don't want the confrontation, they might not want a third or even a second person there. And the Lovers in reverse over there also seems kind of forced, particularly next to the Three of Swords in reverse. And also one of the people in the Lovers card is being bitten by a snake. Can you see that? He's being bitten in the ankle right there. So it's almost like there might be some substance abuse involved. something along those lines, to keep them in line maybe. This really does look, particularly with the shadow being cast behind the person in the Three of Swords, like being trapped in a place due to gaslighting, but also due to potential substance abuse, try and keep people in line, so that doesn't look good at all. So that was that situation, how he got there, potentially sometime after as well. There were sightings of him up to 1996, so that would be 14 years after he was originally abducted. Can we see anything about what's going on with Johnny now? Maybe from then up to now, what's going on with him? Four of Cups is the first card that comes along, and this person in the Four of Cups looks like they're very disconnected from any of the cups, like they're not really choosing any of the situations here that they could go for, or any of the possible options. They're being ignored completely. They are supposed to be meditating, I think, but this looks more like closing off than being meditative. Oops, that's way too much cards, but we're taking these at the very least. And that one, because that one's already flipped. We'll shuffle the rest, because this is way too many to put on the table right now. Let's first reconstruct everything that we had. Okay, we got a lot of cards here. Let me just put them down first so we can take a look. So we start off with the Four of Cups over here, the not wanting to make any choices. None of the choices looked good. Then we have here the Page of Wands upright and the Nine of Wands in reverse. So Nine of Wands is like a very tired of fighting type of thing. Page of Wands is a very fiery, head over heels type of energy as well. So this looks more like not choosing any options because of this, but also almost like a giving in, because the Nine of Wands is tired, like being really tired of fighting. And the World in reverse as well, like they're still hidden from the world here, but this lineup almost looks like if you can't beat them, join them real quick. We do have here Justice reverse still. We had that earlier as well. We also have here the Devil in reverse. So this could be an addiction, or at least some type of bondage still that has metastasized inside of their mind, possibly. We have here the Four of Swords in reverse, which is no rest, and we still have the Three of Swords, but in this case it's upright, so that has flipped a little bit compared to over here. So this looks like I said, he doesn't really want to join, or at least choose anything. Still hidden from the world, tired of fighting. It's still not just, it's still not right, but they've given up or given in. I feel like this might be because of the extended period of time that they have actually been in this situation. Things start to change for you after a while. Like first you're battling things and you're trying to fight things off. You're trying to keep your own sanity, I imagine. And then after a while things just kind of turn around. Like the world was upright here, but now it's in reverse. So maybe the world does not seem like a great place to return to. And over here with the Three of Swords is still the ground. So they were unable to rest. Because normally the Four of Swords is like taking a break, maybe also getting a new perspective or something along those lines. But the resting aspect is denied, because we still have the Three of Swords here, which I feel like whomever was in their way, like forcing themselves on him, and I don't mean that in a physical sense, but more like a mental sense, they're still there, and I think that they may even be trading places in a way. Let me try to get some more cards on that. Like it almost seems like I said earlier, if you can't beat him, join him. After a while he may have decided that the best way for him to move forward was to move along with the flow, so to speak, go with the flow. Can get some clarification on that. This one, all right. The King of Wands is back, and it's in reverse. So before we had the King of Wands here, also in reverse still. So this situation is still a thing. That's also interesting, by the way, because I'm about to put it over here. And we have the King of Wands already underneath it. So this situation, this person, whoever represents the King of Wands, whoever has that authority, they're still here. But it's gotten flipped on its head. Like maybe they've now taken that position. That one, 5 of Wands. Okay, so he is still fighting, but I think that this is starting to look like in order to keep your head above water, you have to do certain things. So whatever he did afterwards, he did in order to try and stay alive. Now, if Mom's story is correct, we have here the 6 of Swords, which is not traveling, or maybe even traveling by darkness, because I said if Mom's story is still correct, that he actually did visit in 1996 and that he was on the run, then we can also read this as he's trying to hide from the world, obviously, and he is still not able to find justice and has perhaps some type of substance addiction that he's dealing with and finding it hard to let things go. And the King of Swords, or King of Wands in this case, might be after them, which he is still fighting, but unable to travel or unable to break away from it seems to be the case. What else do we have here? Moon, yeah, there's still some hidden stuff going on here. So he's either hiding himself or it's being hidden, what he has been up to or where he is. Maybe he feels like he needs to stay in hiding in order to avoid detection. Let's see if we can get a few more cards. Okay, we got a couple here. So he's definitely trying some things, or he tried some things. The 7 of Pentacles is like trying out to sow certain things that may eventually become a good harvest. So working on stuff. We have here the 8 of Wands, which is like a communication card, also a lot of movement cards, or at least a movement card with a lot of stuff moving, which perhaps did not turn out as he wanted to, because we have here the reversed Ace of Wands, which may mean that at least some of the initiatives that he was trying to take over here with the 7 of Pentacles did not come to fruition, or perhaps not as much as he wanted to. And now we have the Hermit as the final card. So he might be currently in hiding or being hidden. I don't know, but I think he's in hiding because it's if the runaway story is correct, like he tried to run away from them, then he may have tried a few things. He may have tried to communicate a couple of times beyond 1996, I mean, and that didn't quite work out. So now he's just biding his time somewhere in hiding, it looks as though. So either he ended up joining in to try and survive, or he was indeed trying to run and he's currently in hiding because he can't come out the way that he wants to without being unsafe. Because I imagine that if there are indeed politicians, etc. involved, that you can't just come back home and have everybody know that you're back home, because then the politicians, etc. that were involved in this and the officials would know exactly where to find you, first of all, and probably that you have some stories to tell that they would not like out in the press. So maybe he's hiding to try and avoid detection and avoid worse fates than that. Let's see what we have here. Last card, actual last card. 2 of Cups. So he may have found somebody that he can confide in, or that he is currently with. This may also be a card to say, you know what, if you are watching this, whoever might still be worried, know that I am doing all right. At least I got some support on my side, even though he's in hiding and potentially may not ever come back out because the time to do so is not yet here. So that is what I'm seeing for Johnny Gosh. I hope you found that interesting. Make sure to leave a comment or a like. That really helps the channel along as well. And I will hopefully see you in another video. In any case, thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.